All right, guys, let's check out a newer tag, Heuer Aquaracer GMT. So big thanks to Richard and the crew over at Saltzman's in Rhode Island. I'll put a link down below in the description. They sent this over so I can check it out and share it with you. This is a long part number, so I'm not going to read it off. I'm actually going to put it down below in the description. I'll put a direct link to Saltzman's for this watch. And I'll actually put the measurements down below too. So if you don't want to watch the video and you just want to know what size it is, just look down below in the description. I have the measurements listed. It is a 43 millimeter watch case from here to here, not including this bumper or crown guard, because that's how we measure watches. The bezel is actually only 42 and a half. You can see it is a little bit short of the case. A lot of angles here going on with this thing, and I'm going to try to point out a few more. The lug-to-lug is a 49.8 millimeter. You can see the beautiful brushing and polished chamfered edges. The thickness, only 13.2 millimeter. So that really spreads itself out, balances out nice on the wrist with that 43 by just under 50, and only being 13.2 millimeter thick, it's going to wear really good. Kind of an oddball lug width here, 21 millimeter, but this strap, and I'm assuming the metal bracelet, both taper down to about 17 millimeter. This is a cut to fit strap. On both sides, you're going to have to cut it. If you're buying it at an authorized dealer, which I don't know why you wouldn't be buying it at an authorized dealer. I've preached that. Guys, buy your luxury watches at authorized dealers, please. Okay, so my rant over. You have to cut it to fit, size it. If you buy it at an authorized dealer, they're going to assist you with it. They're going to help you with that. Awesome clasp on this. Fully milled out, simple fold over, which I'm finding to be my absolute favorite clasp, period. And I'll do a separate video on that. I have a bunch of watches with that feature. Simple fold over. I don't need keepers. I don't need any other doodads. I just need double pusher, fold over, nice clasp. Additionally, you have on-the-fly quick adjust. You have to push both buttons, so it's kind of a security thing, and it locks in place. That's another thing I like. Some of the earlier models of watches, and still some current ones, you can pull them out, and they won't go out anymore. But like I said, handcuffs, I've been told, I don't know from experience, they will ratchet in. This one will not ratchet in. You have to move it in or out, so it stays in the position you left it, which is, I think, my preference. 7 millimeter screw down crown, 300 meter water depth rating on this thing. The caliber 7 inside this watch is basically either, they call it caliber 7, just like this one, they called it a caliber 5. It gives them the option to do whatever they can source. Typically, it's going to be an ETA or a Sellita. So this one may have a ETA 2892, or it could have a Sellita SW330. Is it the 28292 or the 2893? I mix those up sometimes. If we zoom in, we can see a beautiful engraved dial, and there is those shapes again. Kind of that octagon look to it. I'm not good with shapes. Is that an octagon? On some of the markers, the cardinal ones, obviously the 12, 3, 6, and 9 are different, but the rest of them have the similar shape that you're going to see mimicked on the bezel. The bezel insert, which is ceramic, blue on top, white on the bottom. Nice transition on that thing, super sharp. And you have a date magnifier for us aging eyes, guys. But get this, look at that. Flat sapphire crystal. The date magnifier is on the bottom side of the crystal. Pretty slick, I think. Nice little splash of yellow on the tip of the seconds hand, and the super long GMT hand pointing out to your 24-hour, which is going to be on the ring here. They don't have it on the chapter, so this is really only still going to track 2 time zones. I mean, unless you can do the math. The sword handset there looks to be diamond cut and rhodium plated, I'm assuming, just by looking at how sharp they are. And again, there's a closer look at that beautiful finish. I believe some of the part number is actually printed on the case back there. You can kind of see the WP number and stuff. Like I said, I'll put it in the description too. And I'm not quite sure how they did this case back. Is that a snap case back? I don't see any way to remove the case back. I'm just now noticing that. Is that a snap-on case back? How did they get 300-meter water depth rating with a snap-on case back? I'm going to have to do some investigating on that. That's interesting. Also, I talked about authorized dealers. I talked about Saltzman's. If you're looking for an Oris, which is what I wore today, authorized dealer for Oris. And here it is next to the tag. Very similar sized watches. Similar price points depending on how you pick up your Oris. This tag, $3,500 on the rubber strap. I didn't look up the price for the bracelet. So it depends. If you're a bracelet guy, obviously get the bracelet. The Tag Heuer bracelets are good. This is an older generation one, and I absolutely love the simplicity of it and how comfortable it is. I'm assuming they've only made improvements, plus they have the on-the-fly adjust. But if you're not a bracelet guy, then get the rubber strap one because it is really comfortable. Let me pop it on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see. Obviously not sized. You want to see how much extra room there is? You can probably go up to like a 9-inch wrist with this thing. But there it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Still works, no problem. Like I said, I wore that Oris all day, and that's 43.5 millimeter. All right, let's kill the lights and check the loom on this thing. The loom is really good, and Tag does 2 different color looms on a lot of their dive watches, including this one. You can see you have a nice green application on most of it, so some sort of C3, whatever their formula is, and then a blue on the triangle here, and on the little tip of the GMT hand is kind of a bluish color. So it ties those 2 together, the GMT hand and the bezel. Nice touch. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out Saltzman's. Tell them I sent you. See you on the next vid.